Hey everyone, and welcome to a February Stock Talk, and glad to see everyone back here. So let's get into the markets, because right now, as you have seen, the entire last month, which was January, the market seems like it can't stop going higher. December, we can't stop going lower. So talk about some potential targets right now. So last time we left off around SPY 263, I believe, which was a significant resistance. And what we happened to see was we broke above, consolidated, and then now we're making another push to the upside. So I'm going to keep it simple and give you two major targets that I'm looking at. The first target is exactly where we are right now. I think 270 to 271. Big target, and if we are able to break over that, in my opinion, then we could likely be making a run towards 280. So those are my two very important resistance targets for the S&P 500. I think another question a lot of you guys have is when the markets will make a drop, and potential how much of a magnitude will it drop? Those are great questions, but first we need to see that turn first, right? And I wouldn't mind when the markets do make that turn. I think it will be more significant. Now, not to the area of 234 or even possibly 240 at this point, but it will be significant in the fact that we might retrace a portion of the move, perhaps back to where? Well, the all-important number of SPY 263, which is possible. Okay, so those are those two scenarios. And the thing about this is, you can see we have the support at 234.80, right? So you're like, well, Kevin, is it possible, you know, because we've gone up so much, that we eventually come back down? I think that is likely, but I think that's likely months into the future, not close by. This is something, in my opinion, that is unlikely to happen closer to where we are right now. All right, so I'm not expecting something like this. We might now. Here's the deal, right? We might get something that starts to look something like this. Okay, so we might get some 3 or 4 consecutive red days, and then that's going to prompt some fear from the markets. And then once that happens, I think we'll have the ability to start shooting back up again. So my opinion here is that we are at a pretty definitive resistance at the moment, and a break over the resistance, in my opinion, will be making a run towards SPY 280. We'll have to see. It's getting really interesting in the markets, and we've been talking about it quite a bit in the chat room. So if you haven't taken a look, the link is down below. There's the course link, and you can join us. And we talk about the markets while it's trading during the day. And we have active members there constantly talking. So it's an exciting time. Why is it exciting? It's because there's a lot of room. There's a lot of places in which there's potential to make money from in the markets, right? But there's also potential, if you don't get it right, the potential to lose a portion of that, you know, as well. So you got to be careful. But right now, you know, this is on an uptrend. Have we seen a U-turn? Well, you look at this chart right here, and you look at this, you're like, this doesn't really look like a U-turn, but we'll see, right? I think it's going to start with futures tonight, going to start with how it plays out tomorrow and the next few days. So I want to post this video right now because I wanted to show everyone critical point at the moment. All right. Now, here's the deal. I want to show something else to everyone, and especially this is the 20-year monthly chart of the IWM. So the IWM, and I want to take a look at this, is what you can see here is, here's the 20-period moving average, right? I thought it was interesting, and pointing this out to the members as well, I thought it was pretty interesting that we got, didn't get over the 20-period moving average on the IWM last month. And when I was monitoring the IWM at that time, what it seemed like was that on the last day of the month, which was Thursday, the markets were pushing higher on that day, and the IWM was kind of lagging behind. And I was wondering, why could that be? And, this is interesting, in which we weren't able to close over the 20. Now, I can't say the same for the other charts because they were able to close over the 20, but this is interesting. So I just want to, show everyone that this is an pretty fascinating chart at the moment, because we're getting to that area where the market, it's make it or break it. So getting close, if not already there. Okay, so let's take a look at TVIX. Now, here's the deal with TVIX, right? TVIX tracks volatility. Now, with TVIX, what you can see here is that we're making some sort of similar pattern. And now let me zoom in here. Let me zoom in right here to something like this. This was in last year, where we attempted to cross the 20 or 50, got rejected, and came on down. And this was another series of red candles. Can you see that? Now here, it looks like we're doing the same thing. So until I can see some momentum for TVIX, the likelihood is that the markets will continue pushing higher, okay? So while we're in a critical area right now, TVIX is telling me what? It's telling me that markets want to push higher at the moment. So if we start seeing something in which you can see we consolidate, down, 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 consolidate, down, 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 consolidate, down, 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 right? So until we can see some upward momentum, I think it might be a little too early to jump on the train in terms of shorting, but we are at a pretty, pretty stout resistance currently out the chart, on the chart. But the momentum keeps pushing higher, right? So what can you say? Crude oil. Crude oil is bullish. Obviously, it's making a run towards where? If you look at this chart, crude oil is making a run towards $60. No doubt about it, it's bullish. What can you say about this? This is a previous consolidation area. We were able to break above, consolidate again, make another push to the upside. Crude oil continues to be bullish, and until we get to $60 or somewhere near there, I think there's still more upside for crude oil. It's as simple as that. So crude oil looking good. Natural gas. So for natural gas, I've talked to the members multiple times about this chart as well. We do those member stock talks certainly on a weekly basis, but sometimes even on a daily basis. And this really hasn't changed. Natural gas trajectory continues to be pushing lower. When you look at this, this is certainly, you can say that, hey, we're coming up to a support of 2.661, and you can say that, but I think that there's still more downside. I think any potential pops for natural gas will eventually get sold off, certainly on a monthly closing basis. So I think there's still more downside for natural gas. For GC or gold futures continue to be pushing higher. So interestingly enough, I want to show you here, here's the gold chart, right? So what you can see here is this was a pretty definitive support. We broke it. But what happened on this candle was that we closed above even the high of this candle, right? So what does that mean? Obviously, that's bullish for GC, and here is potentially the next support, 1312.8. And as we move higher, we're waiting for the 20-period moving average to be moving higher, and then I'm looking for this to make a run towards 1362 eventually. So this continues to be a bullish chart. I think there's potentially more upside for gold. This was rather deceiving. If you were looking at this chart, this was rather deceiving. How, especially if you were looking at this, as you can see, we closed below the 20 on this day, and then all of a sudden we closed above the resistance on that day. So I think that was really deceiving for people on a technical basis. But once that happened, got to be bullish for gold, and that moves it higher. All right, so we're going to keep this video short. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. I'm really happy to be back with everyone this month, and we'll see how the markets turn the dial. So in the meantime, thank you very much for watching this video. Happy trading. Enjoy your week.